for this lesson, 4.2, we're going to be multiplying whole numbers times a decimal. So first, go ahead and pause the video and get your notes set up. Now that you have your notes set up, the question we're going to be answering today is, what are 3 strategies to multiply a whole number and a decimal? So for the left side of our notes, we're going to just write that first level 1 question. What 3 strategies can I use to multiply? So the 3 strategies we're going to be talking about today, the first strategy would be using a model. The second strategy would be repeated addition. And the third strategy is just your traditional or standard multiplication algorithm. So we'll just call it standard multiplication. All right, I'm going to draw a line here. And we're going to talk about the first strategy, which is how can you use a model? So this would be the model of multiplying, let's say, let's do 0.2. 0.2 times 4. So 0.2 represents 2/10, and if I were to use a model for this, I would draw tenths. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here is my whole split into tenths. Now, when we are multiplying 2/10, we're going to do it 4 times. So I'm actually going to use a highlighter here, and I'm going to show you what 2/10 looks like. So here's 1/10, and this would be 2/10. So if we did 2/10 4 times, that would be once. I'll change the color. Here's twice. 3 times. 4 times. And that would make a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tenths. Now, I can also use a model for hundredths. So I'm going to go ahead and get this set up. So I'm going to count. I'll actually just kind of measure the same distance here, because I know that's 10 spaces. And so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go across, close those up. Okay, so those are tenths, and to make them hundredths, we actually need to split these into 10 parts going sideways or horizontally. So we're gonna go 1, and I like the dotted paper because it really helps me to create straight lines. So when I'm doing this, I just went from tenths to hundredths, and each one of these boxes represents a hundredth. So if I have a problem like 0.15, which would be 15 hundredths, and I need to multiply that by 4, I'm no longer doing columns, an entire column. I actually am going to shade in, so each one of these little boxes right here is 1/100th, and I need to do 15 of them. So I'm going to start with my yellow, and I will shade in 15. Now I already know that one entire line down is 10. So I have 10 plus 5 more would be 15. Okay, so that's 15. Now I'm going to change the color. I need to do this 4 times. We'll go to blue, and I need to do 10 plus 5 more is 15. I'm going to change the color. So this will be my 3rd time. 10 plus 5 more. And my 4th time, 10, which is a whole column, plus 5 more is 15. So I just did 15 4 times. And now all I need to do is count up all the boxes that I shaded in. And I can either count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and count all the boxes, or I know that each one of these lines or columns represent 10. So I just count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I have 6 columns with 10 in it, which is a total of 60 hundredths. So my answer becomes 0.60. So that is how you can use a model to multiply by whole numbers. The second strategy that we're going to talk about is repeated addition. So when we repeat addition, I can do the exact same problem, 0.2 times 4, and I'm going to do that 0.2 4 times. So I would set it up like this: 0.2 plus 0.2 plus 0.2 plus 0.2. That's 4 times. And in our previous lesson, adding and subtracting decimals, we just bring the decimal down and add each place value separately. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 8 tenths. And then we have 0 in the whole number place, the ones place. My answer becomes 0.8 or 8 tenths. I can also use repeated addition for the hundredths problem above, 0.15 times 4, which is 15 hundredths 4 times. So if I set that up, 0.15 plus 0.15 plus 0.15 plus 0.15, I'm doing it 4 times. I bring my decimal down, and now I just add 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, which is 20. Keep the 0, carry that 2 to the next column. 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have nothing in the ones place. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. And that gives me a total of 60 hundredths, or 0.60. 0. Notice that we're getting the same answers that we did in the model above. So this is the second strategy. The third strategy we can use, let's see if I have room on my notes page. Just a little bit of room, and we only need a little bit of room for this one. This one is just your standard multiplying. So you just standard multiplying. So when I multiply a tenth, we learned in the first lesson that when you multiply by a tenth, you move the decimal one place over to the right. To the left. When we're multiplying a tenth by a whole number, we follow the same rule. So we're going to multiply 4 times 2 is 8, just like you normally would multiply. And then 4 times 0 is 0. And so we get 0 and 8. Now, since we're multiplying a tenth right here, we have to move the decimal over one place to the left. And when I do that, my answer becomes 0.8. We follow the same rule when we're doing hundredths. And in the previous lesson, you learned that when you're multiplying by a hundredth, you move the decimal 2 places to the left. So we're just going to multiply like normal. Pretend like that decimal is not there. 4 times 5 is 20. Keep the 0, carry the plus 2. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 2 is 6. And 4 times 0 is 0. And now you see that we multiplied by a hundredth here, which is 0.01. That's the hundredth, right? It's in the hundredths place, so I'm going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. So if it starts here, I move it 2 places over, and my decimal gets placed right there. It looks as though I'm just bringing the decimal down. Let me show you with a different color. It looks as though all I'm doing is just dropping it down, but that's actually not the case. And that's not the rule for multiplying decimals. It happens to line up here, but when you're multiplying decimals by decimals, your decimal does not just drop down. You actually need to count how many places over you're going to be moving it, depending on if you're multiplying by tenths or hundredths or even thousandths. So those are the 3 strategies that you can use for this lesson. And actually this lesson 4.2 focuses mainly on the model strategy, but there are 3 different